Hello everyone, thank you for joining us on this video. Happy Star Wars Day. Today's May 4th, and it's that time of year again. It's time for our annual collection tour video. So we're really excited to show you our collection. We've rearranged a lot of stuff, of course added new stuff throughout the year, and it's hard to believe it's another year. It just seems like we did this just a few months ago. So we're going to go through and highlight what's new in our collection, and I'm going to kind of pan through the shelves up there for the Black Series, and then I'll show you what is new, and then we'll just go through everything, and then we'll show the vintage collection. But first, we're going to start off with our highlight of the collection, and that is the HasLab Razor Crest and the figures associated with that. All right, so here is our Razor Crest, and this year we have it on the display stand. Last year we had it on the landing gear, and we had it on a different display table. And so we've changed it up a little bit, and it's sitting up higher, so it kind of like highlights it in our collection. And down below we have the figures, and most of these were here last year, but we do have a few new ones. We have the Beskar Mandalorian, and that is not the one that came with the Razor Crest, because we have him in the cockpit. We also have Boba Fett, Fennec Shan, and also Migs Mayfield, and then the Din Djarin in disguise, which are two really cool vintage collection figures.
And there we have the we also have the carbonized people or bounties that Mando has collected, and you might realize that they're a bit shinier than yours, and that's because we did some detailing and some painting on them. And if you haven't checked out the video we made about that, where we detailed them and everything, you could go check that out. Link in the description below, and you could also just look for it on our channel. But yeah, I really, this Razor Crest is really, it's one of the biggest parts of our collection. It is one of the most amazing parts of our collection. I love this piece right here, and in there in the cockpit you can see Mando right there, and you can see Grogu in his lap. So yeah, very detailed, very very HasLab worth, very worth it, I think. If you never got to pick one of these up, or you just decided to pass on it, man, you are missing out. I mean, this thing is awesome.
And then we have a little vintage collection cardboard display, courtesy of Walmart, donated this to our collection. And it makes a nice little display for, right now we have all Mandalorian figures in there, since it's right on the Razor Crest. So makes a nice little display for carded vintage collection figures.
And then up here, as you can see, we have the HasLab figures up here with Grogu, which is in a protective case right there. And we have the Off-World Jawa Elder, which is not in a protective case yet. We still need to put him in one. But yeah, that is our kind of collection centerpiece right there, the Razor Crest. So yeah, very awesome piece.
All right, now switching gears to Black Series, we will return to vintage collection in just a few minutes, but first we're going to show our Black Series collection. And here are our Black Series shelves. And we've got 3 shelves on the wall, and then we have a display piece of furniture there below. And we have some of the boxes, mural art boxes on top of that.
Yeah, and we're not exactly sure how many Black Series figures we have in all. I'd say maybe definitely over 100. But yeah, I'm not really sure. Last time we counted it was probably years ago, and yeah, this collection has been going on. This Black Series collection has been going on for about 8 years now, 7-8 years now, because I think we started it back in 2015 with the Force Awakens figures in the Black Series. I think our very first figure was Poe Dameron, which we don't have displayed out here right now. But if you go look at some of our very old videos, you will probably see him, because we've moved since then. And that was the top shelf that you just saw right there, with our some of our sequel figures and stuff like that.
Our next shelf features Rogue One, Star Wars A New Hope, and Empire Strikes Back. So I'm going to go in and let's take a closer look.
So over here we have, starting off with Rogue One, we have the Imperials and the main crew there with Jin in the front there and Cassian. Yeah, really cool figures. This was really our first line we started collecting in the Black Series, the Rogue One figure line that they started back in 2016. And yeah, there's that Jin Edu right there, pretty cool. And then moving over here, we have, starting with Star Wars stuff. And in the background, you can see the early bird collection of figures that they released for the 40th anniversary of Star Wars right there. Pretty cool. Sad that they didn't do it for The Empire Strikes Back. I wish they kind of did. And for Return of the Jedi. I feel like that would be pretty cool to kind of build a centerpiece out of that. And then, as you can see, our ceremony set up right there with Han and Luke and Leia. And then over here we have Luke and Wedge in R5 there. And then there's a Sand Trooper right there. Awesome figure. One of the best figures they've released. And then Stormtrooper in the back there. And then moving over, we have The Empire Strikes Back. And you can see we've kind of made our own little early bird set. The Empire Strikes Back. Luke versus Vader right there. Han Solo and Carbonite.
Admiral Piet.
Admiral Piet, yeah. Lando over there. Han Solo, Leia. And then out in the front here, we have the entire Bounty Hunter collection from The Empire Strikes Back, consisting of IG-88, Dengar, Bosk, Boba Fett, Zuckuss, and Forlom. And then over here, we have our kind of Dagobah training little diorama. We use the base from the deluxe Luke from Oct 2 that they released back in 2018, I think it was. And yeah, I think that turned out pretty good. And then moving over here, we have our Hoth set here with the Probe Droid in the background. And we have, there we have Piet with Snowtrooper and an AT-AT driver. There's the 40th anniversary Empire Strikes Back Probe Droid right there. And then over here, we have the Rebels with Luke. That C-3PO back there is a Bandai model. It's not Hasbro, which is why it's back metal, or why it's gold. And that super cool Rebel Soldier that they released a couple years back. And then the Han Solo. And in the back there, you can see the Black Series centerpiece Luke in Snowspeeder outfit with the AT-AT foot right there. That was pretty cool, those centerpiece things they released years ago. I wish they would do that again. And there it is with the light effects. That looks awesome. Again, I don't know why they stopped doing that. It was really cool when they did that. I wish they would do it again with, like Mandalorian and stuff like that. It would be pretty cool.
Okay, next shelf. Moving on to the next shelf. It's this one starts out as Rebels, then transitions into some gaming figures, and then into Return of the Jedi.
And over here, we have the Rebels section, one of my favorite sections in the entire collection. Rebels is a huge part of my Star Wars, or since I started liking Star Wars. I mean, Rebels was my favorite show of all time. And there we have the Black Series Thrawn right there. And then moving over into some of the gaming figures, specifically from Jedi Fallen Order. Jedi Survivor just came out, I think, a week or two ago, so I can't wait to play that game. Haven't played it yet. And there's that amazing Jedha Patrol Stormtrooper. That was an amazing figure, and it was kind of hard to find for us. And then moving...
He's on the wrong shelf.
And then moving over here, we have our Emperor setup as we move into the Return of the Jedi there. I know Tarkin wasn't in Return of the Jedi. He died in A New Hope. But I thought it would just be cool there with him, with the Emperor kind of as like an Emperor throne room diorama kind of thing right there. And there's that Darth Vader they released years ago with the electrocuting helmet thing that they released. That's actually pretty cool. It'd be cool if they redid that in today with new sculpt. And starting off with the Return of the Jedi stuff here, we have the speeder bike, the Black Series speeder bike, with a couple biker scouts there, and then we have the Inferno Squad agent in the back there from Battlefront 2. And then over here we have Boba Fett with a flight stand. Again, one of the best Black Series figures they have ever released. Definitely has that deluxe price point. Definitely worth it. And then going down below, we have Leia Bush. And then our kind of like Endor continuation there. Those Endor figures are really cool with Han, Luke, and Leia. And then there's General Lando Calrissian. And in the background, you can see Force Ghost, Obi-Wan, and Yoda. And then we have Admiral Akbar standing there too. And then in the back, we have the Deluxe Gamorrean Guard. We have Lando in the disguise. And then we have that Ewok right there. I don't remember his name, though.
Tebow?
Tebow, yeah.
And moving down further, next shelf is Clone Wars, Bad Batch, and then we transition into Mandalorian.
All right, over here with our Clone Wars setup right here, we have Obi-Wan right there, and we kind of have his respective, all their respective like clone battalions. So the 212th with Obi-Wan right there, and then as you can see, Anakin with the 501st over there. Yeah, we kind of have their respective clones with them. And there's Padme as well. And then in the back, we have some more clones. And over here is the Bad Batch. We're missing Omega, though. Don't have her yet. I think we're going to wait until the Season 2 Omega releases. Because I think...
Echo.
Oh, yeah, we're missing Echo as well. We don't have him. And then over here, we have Wolf in the back there. And then Commander Fox. And then the Darth Maul right there, the archive release. Mace Windu in the back, awesome figure. Cad Bane right there, another awesome figure. Can't wait for the Book of Boba Fett one. Then the Coruscant Guard back there, or the Senate Guard. And then we have Yoda right here, which is actually a Black Series Empire Strikes Back Yoda, but we're just kind of using him for a Clone Wars Yoda. And there's our Obi-Wan Kenobi setup right there with Obi-Wan and Vader from the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. And then in the back there, we have the Phase 2 Purge Trooper, and then to Biden Station Obi-Wan. Very nice figures right there. And then moving over, here is our Mandalorian setup. There's a whole lot of figures in here. They've released so many of them. And up front there, you can see Boba Fett, the Daimyo, and then there's Fennec Shand, Axe Wolves as well. He played a big part in Season 3. We got Mando dual-wielding those pistols from the finale, and Grogu there. And you can see Cobb Vanth too. In the back there, we have Season 1 Mando, and then Remnant Stormtrooper, the Client, those two Flame Trooper and the Mortar Trooper, or the Artillery Trooper. Then we have Boba Fett with his Tusken gear. Moff Gideon right there. Paz Vizsla in the back. The Dark Trooper. Cara Dune right there. Wish she was in Season 3, but, Disney. And then there's Bo-Katan right there. And Casca Reeves. And Ahsoka. Can't wait for the Ahsoka show later this year. And then the Clean Stormtrooper. We got IG-11 too. There is Miggs Mayfield in the disguise. And then we have Luke right there holding Grogu from the Season 2 finale. And then in the back, you can see the armor right there. Greef Karga. There's an off-world Jawa down there as well. And then you can see, what was his name? One Jack? Was that his name?
No, Zero.
Zero? Zero, that's his name. And then, the Death Watch Mandalorian. Amazing figures they've released so many in the Mandalorian line now, it's kind of getting cramped. Space is very limited in our collection. And yeah, very big collection right here of Mandalorian figures. And then down here in the kind of furniture cube thing, starting off with our Din Djarin part of it, we have a cube dedicated to Din Djarin and Din Djarin memorabilia here. There's our custom Beskar Mando. We actually made this before Hasbro released the Beskar Mando, and we have some videos we made of customizing them. I think it was back in 2019 when we made those videos, or going into 2020. So yeah, check those videos out if you haven't already. In the background there, we have the Mandalorian Black Series Premium Roleplay helmet. That one is awesome. It has that light on it too. And then we have a Bandai model kit of Din Djarin right there. It is not the deluxe version that has the shiny metal Beskar, as you can tell.
Okay, transitioning back to vintage collection, we're going to start out with our Imperial display, which has been redone for this year.
And just FYI, this isn't like all vintage collection. It spans across like a whole bunch of different 3.75-inch lines that Hasbro's done, like the Rebels line and the Rogue One line and the Force Link and all that. So yeah, it's a lot bigger than last year, I think. We moved the Imperials section from up there to down here where the Razor Crest used to be. So yeah, I think it fits a lot better down here because there's a whole lot more Imperial stuff than there is stuff up with the Razor Crest. And starting down here with the Imperial section, we have the AT-ACT right there. They released way back in the Rogue One line. Really awesome piece right there. Shout out to Mr. Stevie, as you know, who helped design this and like get it to be what it is. It walks and does everything like that. And down here we have Krennic and Thrawn right there. And then spanning across here, we have Tarkin, Power of the Force Tarkin. And then we have some vintage collection right here. We have Vader and the Emperor with the Royal Guards. And then the Shock Trooper right there. And then we have Moff Gideon over here with the E-Web Stormtrooper. Really awesome right there. The blast effect and everything. There's our Incinerator Trooper. And then our speeder bike. I believe it's Power of the Force. And then we have the Imperial Troop Transport from the Mandalorian in the background there. And a bunch of stormtroopers lined up in front of it there. With the officer kind of leading them right there. Then we got maintenance crew working on the AT-ACT in the legs there. And then coming around, we have Death Troopers and our squad of Shore Troopers right there.
And next up, we're going to focus on our vintage collection vehicles.
So right here, you can see our vintage collection Slave One. This is the Slave One release. This isn't the Starship release that they did recently. This is the first one that they released in the vintage collection. And then over here we have our vintage collection, or Black Series 3.75-inch ATST. Really awesome. I really love this one, except for one major flaw that I think all of you guys know of. The legs are like really flimsy and loose, and it is basically impossible to stand up no matter what you do. So yeah, really awesome except for that flaw. And then there's our vintage collection TIE Fighter they released a few years back. We found a bunch of these on sale for $5 at Walmart back a few years ago. So we got an amazing deal on those. I think we bought like 5 of them. And we gave some of them to some of our friends on YouTube as well that couldn't get them where they were. And then here we have our vintage collection X-Wing right there. One of my favorite pieces in our collection. This thing is awesome. There's the Luke right there. Vintage Collection Luke. And Biggs right there as well. And we have a few droids over there too. And here's our Rebels collection. This is again one of my favorite pieces in our collection. I love collecting this old Rebels memorabilia from 2014 and 15. Some rare stuff nowadays. There's that Ahsoka right there. They came with that 2-pack with Vader. And then over here we have our small little Rogue One collection in 3.75. So yeah, a mix of vintage collection and Force Link or Rogue One line.
Okay.
And here we have our little Tantive 4 playset right here with some dead stormtroopers on the ground and then some stormtroopers standing up. And there's the menacing Darth Vader from that first scene that he was in, that classic scene. And then over here we have C-3PO and R2 trying to escape Vader's grasps with the Death Star plans.
Yeah, we need to get some Rebel troopers for this playset, but we haven't been able to get any yet. So that's what's missing from this playset.
And here we have our Cantina playset right here. I think from last year we've added this entire Navarro Cantina part of it. Before it just used to be the Jabba's Palace part. But yeah, we've added a bunch of figures to the bar here.
Yeah, we kind of combined the two playsets together. So we have like a bounty hunter type setup, and then the backside of Jabba's Palace is one playset, I guess. Kind of goes together, I guess, but we don't have room to separately display them, so that's how we have them for right now.
Yeah, I think it turned out pretty good actually. With all those bounty hunters and having the Mithril as the bartender there.
Yeah, the Navarro Cantina is one of my favorites. They did a really good job on that with all the detailing and accessories that came with.
Yeah, the little drinks and all that.
Next up, we have our Kenner Ewok Village.
Yeah, we decided to put figures on this and make it like the celebration. Over here we have R5 right there. C-3PO in the chair. And this R2-D2 here actually. So yeah, pretty cool. Down there we have the net. So yeah, we're missing a bunch of pieces off of this, but we do still have some pieces of them.
Okay, next up we have a DTOF dedicated to Star Wars items, and we'll go through this real quick. Here is our hyper-real Vader and Luke. Really cool figures, the hyper-real figures. If you find those, at a bargain price, I highly recommend them. They're really cool. Then we have a few figures on card in the background. Luke and Vader from Empire Strikes Back, the Vintage Collection figures. Then the next shelf in the DTOF is vintage. It's vintage figures from Kenner, and these are figures from my childhood. And I had a few more, but over the years I lost some of them, and they come up missing. So this is what remains. And we have a vintage cloud car from Empire Strikes Back that I got for Christmas in 1980. And in the background there is a thermos from my Star Wars lunchbox that I had. Unfortunately, the lunchbox is gone, but I still have the thermos. Moving down, we have a shelf dedicated to Darth Vader, and we just have a bunch of random Darth Vaders in here, different ones. Vintage Collection on card, that Celebration 3 Special Vader, and then the Black Series Centerpiece Vader. And then moving down to the bottom is our Rogue One Disney Store Elite figures. These are like 10-inch figures. They're pretty cool.
And here's our next DTOF. Not going to show a whole lot of this because it's not really Star Wars. Just going to kind of scan through it. We have our Tron collection right here. One of my favorite parts of our collection. we're both huge Tron fans. Can't wait for Tron 3, whenever that will be. Yeah, I really... Yeah, and the Tron Light Cycle run in Disney World, too. So yeah, there's our Tron collection. Next, we have a bunch of NECA stuff right there. Mix of like NECA and different movie memorabilia stuff. Like the Optimus Prime back there, which the head is like flipped down. And then next up, we have our Black Hole NECA or Diamond Select collection, sorry. And then Snake Supreme Cobra Commander. And then down here, we have our Indiana Jones collection, which stay tuned on our channel soon. We'll be doing some unboxings on the new Indiana Jones figures that Hasbro has released. And then over here we have our arcade machine. It's a Legends Ultimate. It's the first release, I think, of it. It came with like 350 games included. But we did add CoinOps X to it so we can get a whole lot more games to play on it. And we did also buy this Tron joystick right here from, well, it's not the actual joystick from the original Tron arcade machine, but it's supposed to look like it. And then the Pac-Man stool we have for it as well. And then moving over to our gaming section, part of the collection, which, again, we're not going to go too in-depth in this because it's, well, there's a little Star Wars in it, but most of it isn't really Star Wars. We're just going to go a little into this. Here we have my Cade 6 statue from the Destiny universe, and then the Destiny 1 and 2 steelbooks back there. And then we have my PlayStation 5 right here, the disc drive edition. And then going over here, we have a statue of Nathan Drake from Uncharted 3, and then our copy of Uncharted 3. And then on the screen, we have Star Wars Musical Journey playing. And then down here, we have a Gold Star 3DO. We have the receiver. We have some PS3 and PSP games. And then over here, we have the PS3. And then in the back there, we have the PS2, which is kind of hard to see because it's dark. Then down here, we have the PS4 games. Then going back up on top of this speaker, we have the Nintendo GameCube and the Retron HD, which plays NES games in HD with the Empire Strikes Back video game there. So that's pretty cool.
And one final thing I want to show real quick is our HasLab Sky Striker that we won from Mr. Stevie just a few months ago. So that is really cool, really awesome. Thank you, Mr. Stevie, again for sending this out to us. We are just beyond elated to have this in our collection. It's so cool. And this is where I got it set up temporarily. Still trying to work out where exactly it's going to go. I've got one of these little display step things beside it. I'm going to put my vintage G.I. Joe figures on, I believe.
Yeah, still kind of putting this part of the collection together. But yeah, can't wait to see what it looks like when we finish it all.
And just one final bonus as we're wrapping up this collection tour video. Some people have asked how we film our videos, and this is where we film our videos. It's like a little workbench that I built several years ago, and this is where we film all of our videos. We do our unboxings here, and it's kind of a mess right now. I didn't get a chance to clean it up that well. So, and we have some vintage collection figures on the wall behind it. Got some painting accessories over here for customizing figures and building model kits and stuff. And then up above, there's our microphone. And then we have some G.I. Joe figures on the wall above it. And I have a 25th anniversary G.I. Joe display on a shelf above that. So this is where we do all of our videos. All right, guys, that wraps up this video. Thank you for joining us on our collection tour. Again, happy Star Wars Day. Please give this video a like and help our channel out. Subscribe if you're new here. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers. We just need less than 40 to go before we hit 1,000. So help us get to that milestone. Also, leave us a comment down below. Tell us what you think of our collection. It's growing every year, so we're really proud of it and really enjoy just coming down here and rearranging figures and setting them up, posing them. It's a lot of fun, and that's what the hobby is supposed to be. It's supposed to be fun, so that's we really enjoy it. We really enjoy making videos.
Yeah, we've come so far since we started our channel. what was it? I think 5 years ago now, a little more than 5 years ago. So yeah, if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be in the place that we are today in our YouTube career, if that's the right term for it. So yeah, a big thanks to everyone out there, and a happy Star Wars Day to everyone out there.
And once again, thank you for watching. Alex, take us out.
May the 4th be with you always.